Mom. Dad. Juliet. Nuo the Blue Healer. Woo! Welcome back, everybody. Hey, everybody, welcome back. It's PanCake Friday. We are back again. Is this episode 9? Or, week 9 in a row?
9 week.
Are we on week 9?
Week 9.
Yeah, this is 9. We're 1 week away.
Yeah. And then we're going to miss a week.
Oh, no. No, we have to pod in
Hawaii? You want to take all your pod stuff to Hawaii?
We're podding in Hawaii. You heard it here first. We will bring you. You will feel the heat as we pod from the beach. You know what? I might do a podcast on a surfboard on the water surfing.
You're not going to do that.
Yeah,
you can't take the mic into water.
Well, I'll keep it out of the water as I surf. That's how good I am.
Have you ever surfed before?
Beginner's luck. Everyone knows beginner's luck is a real thing. Okay, so yeah, just for those of you that don't know, we are going to Hawaii for a wedding next Friday. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
How you doing, Neve?
I'm doing good. I'm doing very well, actually. I've had a pretty good week. What about you?
Yeah, I'm exhausted today, but it's just because I had a long shift, but it was off of the back of we had our soccer game yesterday, so it was just...
Yeah, I was actually... I don't know how that went at all, because I was passed out by the time you came back.
Well, it was a game.
Did you win?
We won 2-0.
Nice.
I got both assists.
You did?
Yeah, I was stoked.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I played striker. Because everyone was away.
Yeah.
Well, not everyone was away, but like Whittle, Joach, Armand, Julian all went to our 7-a-side game.
Right.
So I ended up filling in as striker with Donahoe. Mm-hmm. It was really fun to play striker. Like I had a good time up there, but it's definitely not like my position. But I got 2 assists, so I obviously wasn't doing too bad.
That's really good.
But the first one was... Okay, first off, the other team, I honestly think I'm going to just deck one of their guys next game.
Which team was it?
Dirty Daddies. Because what they do that I don't like is, so it's one thing if you like rock someone while you're like running for the ball and you both see it, right? Mm-hmm. But what they have these 2 guys specifically, and they did it so many times, and the one guy hurt me last season at my rib doing it, was... Say there's a ball in the air and you're like sprinting you're like send it through or whatever, and you're looking at the ball, they just stand in front of you and put a shoulder into you and you have no chance because you're sprinting blindsided, right? And this one dude, Jamie, rocked him at the end of the game and called him. Jamie was like, "You fucking little bitch!" But that's what the point it was at. And yeah,
I really do live up to the name. Every time,
I know. Yeah. And the one dude is just such a fucking plug. Like he thinks he's so good, and every time we just crush them. And so anyhow, we won. I got assist on the first one. It came down the wing, and I hit it right-footed cross, and then Paul slotted it home. And then the second one was in the second half, and we had a free kick on the edge of the box. And I faked, like, I looked in the corner to fake like I was going to shoot, and then I crossed it far post, and it was just, like, perfectly onto Ali's foot. So, yeah.
Beauty.
Yeah, it was a good game. It was really fun. So, yeah, that happened.
Yeah, I was sorry. I was like so passed out by the time you got
That's okay. It's okay. It was late. Yeah. So that's the reason I'm tired is just because it was like that, and I didn't get to sleep. I think till like 1:30 or 2.
And then
Juliet was up at 5. Yeah. So anyhow, I'm good though. I can't complain. I'm super excited for Saturday.
Yeah. Survivor Series, baby. Let's go.
Let's go, baby.
I've already planned out that. So, for those of our listeners who don't know, this is the first time Juliet's having an overnight at her Grammy's house.
Yeah, that's huge. So we
get like, and we've had like nights out before, but then we've always come home.
Yeah.
And still had to do like, be somewhat human enough to like do night feedings if we need to.
Yeah.
But this is like she's out all night till the morning.
Yeah, that's super fun.
That's pretty awesome. And I've already planned out my drinking schedule.
Oh wow. Okay. Let's hear it.
So we're dropping Juliet off at noon.
Yeah.
Or just before noon so that we can make it to your soccer game for noon.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to take some brewskis to the soccer game. Then we're going to Dex's for pre-drink. So I'm pre-drinking. And then we're going for pre-drinks. And then the actual event starts at 2:30.
I think that you can't pre-drink. I think you're warming up for the pre-drink.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Either way, I've got it all planned out, but I got to stick to spirits. Sticking to spirits.
Okay.
And maybe a couple beers.
But I thought, you just said you're bringing a whole bunch of beers to the game.
Did I say? I didn't say beers.
Oh, okay. Well,
I said booze.
Oh.
Booze?
I
Drinks?
thought you said drinks. Know. Okay, well, whatever.
Either
it doesn't
way,
matter.
I'm thinking like White Claws or like the tequila seltzers and beer. Tequila and beer never does me dirty. But just don't let me drink anything else.
Okay, yeah, I might go tequila too then, or I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'm super excited for not only Survivor Series on a personal level. Like, I know I'll have a blast. Like, it's going to be amazing. But I'm so excited for you to see.
I'm so stoked because we were meant to go see AEW, right?
Yeah, but even AEW, it would have been cool to see. Don't get me wrong. Like, it was cool to see. But, like, when we were at SmackDown last time, I literally, like, my throat was raw from the whole time. We were just like, yeah.
I know. I'm really, really stoked, and it's such a good lineup as well. Like, I can't believe all of the people that we're gonna get to see. I'm especially excited for Rhea Ripley because we didn't think she was gonna be there.
Yeah.
And it was comical the moment when we realized, because I was cooking dinner and we were watching Raw, and I was like, do you know, the one thing that I am bummed out about is that Rhea Ripley won't be there. And literally, like, 2
minutes later,
it's like, this is my brutality. And then she comes out, and I was like, oh my God.
That was perfect. Because it would have, it is a star-studded roster that's coming out.
Yeah, it's a really, really good roster.
For those of you that don't watch WWE.
What are you doing with your life?
Yeah, I'm not saying this for everyone. I can fully get that. But I honestly think you like... you know what the problem is?
What?
When we started watching again, we had Dax with us.
Yeah.
And Dax is so good at filling you in on every detail from the past. So, like, everything made so much sense to us. Whereas if you just have to pick up on wrestling and watch it with no, like, Dax there to explain all the stuff, it probably, there's a lot where you're just like, wait, what?
Yeah, that's one thing Dax is really, really good at. It's like when we started watching MMA as well. Like, I'd watched MMA previously, but I didn't have all the, like, kind of knowledge of the people. But Dax is just like an information box.
I actually like watching it with Dax the most. By the way, when we're in Hawaii, there's a really good card, he said.
Oh, really?
So that'll be fun.
Be cool.
Yeah.
But even, like, what was it that we were watching? I think it was WrestleMania when my mom was here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we watched
that was crazy.
WrestleMania with my mom.
Yeah.
And my mom actually got really into it because we were, like, explaining everything to her as it was going on.
Well, kid, that's the thing with wrestling is the wrestling has to take place. Like, it has to, because otherwise it's just weird. They're just walking into a ring and talking all these, like, dumb storylines.
Yeah.
So everything's based around the match. But, like, it's the drama,
so much more
it's
than
everything
that,
else that makes it so good.
That's why I like it. I always say it's like watching like a telenovela, like a sitcom, but there's also, like, these super athletic people, like, kicking ass, and it doesn't matter if it's real or not. Like, it's just so fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those of you that are women that are like, oh, it objectifies women. I mean, to a degree, there's still the skimpy outfits to a degree, of course.
Yes.
But I'd argue that it's not, like, it's definitely not what it was. Like, there was definitely a thing where you're like, you are objectifying women.
Oh,
like the Attitude Era.
Back when I was a kid, it was.
But I would say, if you're like, whatever, go watch Mr. McMahon on Netflix, and then you'll probably want to start watching.
Yeah. But now, and I feel like it's one, I'm gonna put, like, say, sport in quotation marks, but it's one thing where, like, the women and the men, like, they draw equal amounts of attention.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's fully, like...
I think I was most into the women's division when we first started watching again. Because, like I had said, I had been so far away from it. It was all, like, Attitude Era, where the women were, like, bra and panties matches, like, literally did nothing. And they didn't even really wrestle. And then all of a sudden you came back and you have, like, Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair.
Tiffany Stratton was trained along Simone Biles, like, with Simone Biles.
She was an Olympian? Or she just trained? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know if she was.
Well,
I don't
like
know.
like
She
we
might have
say
been.
not everything we say is
Yeah,
fact.
go
But she
fact check that
definitely
one.
she definitely was a gymnast with Simone Biles.
I'm actually just gonna look that up now.
Yeah. Like, she's crazy. And then Rhea Ripley's just a friggin' powerhouse as well.
Oh no, okay. She wasn't an Olympian, but she was on the 2016 U.S. national gymnastics team.
With Simone Biles. Probably. I definitely heard that she trained alongside Simone Biles.
Yeah.
But she wasn't on a team with Simone Biles. Anyway.
She's a monster.
But yeah,
look at her when she was in.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Fuck.
But the women are
Sorry,
definitely. Yeah, I know you get distracted.
Yeah, I was not. I was just looking at, like, it's. I wasn't looking at her. Well, she is hot, but I was looking at her because it's just crazy to see how fucking jacked gymnasts are. Like, it's nuts.
It's wild.
Like, you just look at her. She was like 18 or 19 there, and she was like the most stacked person you'll ever see.
But yeah, I just really, really enjoy wrestling. I think it's actually the one, again in quotation marks, sport that I'm actually like super stoked to follow and watch every single match. And like do my own independent, like watching YouTube matches from like 10 years ago, you know?
Yeah, it's just fun. It's just something fun and different and new, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, not new, but like for me, like new, as although I did do it before, but I was so young.
Yeah.
So that's super exciting. And let's see. I have a whole bunch of like just random things here.
Yeah.
One of them is, okay, so I was listening to a lot of things to do with like AI and how it's all to do with it, like now being on Google and all that stuff, right? So first off, I don't know if I said this last week, but I'm just gonna say it again. 100% AI or Google, I feel like is a sentient being. You could argue prior to AI, just because of like your ability to type things in and it sort through information and give you things, although it literally couldn't like answer you like what we'd consider sentiency. I'd argue the wealth of knowledge and how much it like interacts with people kind of makes it sentient. But then to further that thought, like, because I kind of thought that, now seeing it have this AI, I think it is fully sentient. And
I definitely believe that there is an AI that's sentient. I don't know if it's Google or what, but like I do believe that. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. And so like I don't know, every time I interact with it, it's really weird. And so this got me into, I was listening to one of these guys that he was on Lex Friedman, and he's all about like AI safety and protocols and stuff like that. And he was talking about as AI replaces more and more jobs and everything, it's just the world we're going to start living in is 100% just a social currency based one. Like because you're not going to be able, like, money isn't going to be what it used to be because no one's going to really have jobs to do stuff. And so you're still going to have currency, but he was predicting that he thinks that the future, a lot more of like your social status and how you interact with people. So not like social status is in the right now where it's like, oh, I'm rich and you're poor, but like if money doesn't really matter because everything's done, it instantly becomes more of like how much people want to be around you is the new currency. And I just thought that was really dystopian and weird, to be honest.
It's like, again, like we're literally just kind of living through Black Mirror episodes. This is another Black Mirror episode where like your whole life like is your social rating.
Oh right, and they have the
that
little
one. It's called
green
Nosedive.
Yeah.
Which is a great episode of Black Mirror. In fact, all of this unofficial sponsor of the week, Black Mirror. But yeah, I just feel like we are literally getting to that era of the whole world is just going to become a giant Black Mirror episode. Yeah,
Joanne showed me a thing today that tripped me the hell out. She's all over TikTok, and she's like, yo, check out this video. And it's like, she shows me it, and it looks like fruit, like a bowl of like apples.
Yeah.
But then all the apples start turning into hamsters. but like really weird morphology of it's almost like they like snap into being hamsters. You're like, wait, what the fuck? And it like really like bugs your eyes out. It doesn't look like natural and cool. And then it'd go to like, it went to a whole bunch of berries, and then the berries started acting like birds and slowly turned into birds. But it was, and then there was like other ones. It was like grapes that turned into a litter of puppies. But it was so realistic. You would have sworn those were grapes. And then after they changed into puppies, you'd be like, those are puppies. And 100% of it was just AI.
Yeah.
Like, it was
AI
so
is
weird.
so nuts now.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that we got to accept, like, when I say we, you and I don't have to literally, because we can just ignore it. But I think that we just have to accept as a society we're turning into, like, screen-loving cyborg things.
Yeah.
It's just a fact. Like you and I can be like, we reject it, and I think there won't be like a thing where they like come hunt us down. I think it'll just be people will be like, all right, you don't have to do it, and then most people will want to be there, and you'll just be on the outskirts because like myself included, everyone's just way too addicted to screens.
Yeah.
And all of my clients that have kids that are, let's say, like 14 to like 20, so all of them are echoing this thing of, they're like, yeah, my kid, like, they don't really got much like zip to them, and they hate to admit it. You can tell they're like, they kind of just like go on their phone and don't really want to do anything. And then I'll always be like kind of like trying to like ease it, and I'm like, oh well, like, you know, like, I don't know, I played video games and stuff, you'll grow out of. They're like, no, you don't understand, like, they don't have anything, like, they don't do anything, they just go online and look at stuff and scroll, and I'm just like, that's so fucked.
It's
fucked.
Super fucked.
Yeah. But on the other side of that, I have one client who, her daughter, just for whatever reason, just doesn't like any of that stuff and doesn't do it. And I was like, so what do you mean? She's like, she doesn't have all, like, she's had Facebook and all that, she just didn't like it. And I was like, so what happens? She's like, well, her friends just know she's not into it, and they just don't bother her with it, but they still invite her to stuff, and she's just doing her thing. And I was like,
well,
cool,
that's good.
that's super cool.
And I think as well, we're very fortunate in the area that we live in as well. There's a huge focus on like being active and like being outdoors, which is, I guess, like one of the really positive things about living where we live.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that isn't as common in other places, like even where I grew up, is it's not like everyone's on a team, but here it's like everyone's on at least 3 teams for sports or like doing some kind of activity. So
yeah, it's true. Yeah. Oh no, it's just crazy future. It really is. It's just weird.
Yeah.
It's just super weird. Okay, so that was my first thing. That was just kind of, I don't know.
It wouldn't be PanCake Friday if we didn't give a shout out to AI.
AI ruining things.
Yeah.
Oh, this is just a thing I want to remind everyone to look up. And the reason I mean that, the reason I'm meaning for it isn't why I'm saying this part right now. So I guess looking up, what I kind of mean is like, when you're going for a walk, look up. Just look around. You don't have to like look up. But what I was actually referring to is like, look up to the skies and see if there's UFOs, because I think that there might be if we just look up more. It's like no one's looking up, so you just never know. So I'm just kind of getting everyone to look up more and let me know. If you see anything, document it, send it in. We'll gladly have you as a guest on the show and we can discuss it. So yeah, just everyone look up.
Everyone look up a little bit more.
Look up.
Wasn't that a movie that came out with Leonardo DiCaprio and what's her face?
Yes.
Katniss.
Katniss, yeah.
What's her name?
Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence, yeah. Jennifer Lawrence and Leonardo DiCaprio, look up or don't look up or
don't
something.
Look up
don't
or
look
one
up,
something like that. Yeah, and I don't know if you heard about the newest UFO disclosure stuff.
I did not.
Well, the U.S. government has like, they're in this thing they were talking about, like they have or non-human biologics. They have recovered crash crafts. This is in Congress. This has all been testified. And then there's papers proving that there's you don't know which company it is, but one of the defense contractors, like the aerospace engineering companies, they requested to transfer this stuff from one defense contractor to another, and the CIA blocked the transfer request, meaning that it's all actually stuff. So there's aliens and there's UFOs. It's all real. Ha ha. Yeah.
To you. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm just not shocked by any of this anymore because, you know, I've kind of figured that a lot of stuff that people thought was happening and were called, like, conspiracy theorists for has been happening for a long time, and it just doesn't really, at this point, it doesn't really matter if it's real or not. To me, anyway. Like, I'm just like, oh yeah, people have been saying this for a long time. People have been arguing this for a long time. It's probably real. So what does it matter if there's proof or not? I don't know.
Well, for me, I think it is fair. Like,
yeah.
Like there is literally been in Congress testified things and all this stuff now that there is this, and what has changed?
Yeah,
nothing.
I think what I'm not saying what I'm meaning very well.
Okay.
Is I believe what I believe, and I've always believed that there is stuff outside of, like, us, so, like, aliens and whatever. And now that it's coming out that there are, it's like, well, yeah, I knew that, but
right.
but that's just me, because, like, I'm like, okay, I don't need it to be confirmed. Like, it's pretty fucking obvious that we're not the only, like, living beings in the whole universe.
Okay, well, like, okay, but that's fair, and that's true, but also this is confirming that they're on our planet, or they have been on our planet.
I knew that, though.
Okay. For me, why it's exciting, outside of the main one of I'm not just going crazy, like, all the stuff I've thought of UFOs is true, is I actually genuinely think that there's a world, like, let's say somehow something opens up and there's, like, aliens are a thing that can be, like, studied, and you can, like, go into the fields of that stuff. I think that's actually something I'd be interested in as a career.
Oh, yeah, you'd be all over that. Like, with the amount that you know about, like, human anatomy, if there became a chance to learn about, like, non-human anatomy,
it wouldn't even, like, I'd use that to get in, as that, because that's the vein I'd go under, is I'm like, well, I have this a background in anatomy, but I would just do anything, like, because I just think it's, like, it's kind of the same thing, I feel like, as, like, I don't know, who was it? Darwin, when he, like, went to the Galapagos and did all those studies on like species and all that stuff. I feel like it's kind of like having that opportunity.
Comparing yourself to Darwin?
No, not me, literally.
Like, Derek is the one aged Darwin.
Derek Darwin, not Charles. Don't be ridiculous.
Derek Quinn.
No, but it's more just like it's like a new, like, a brand new field of study where everything you learn is like you can have a theory, and they're not like, for the last 90 years people have disproved that. It's like everything's open to, like, discover again. Yeah. So that's, to me, one of the most exciting things about it.
Yeah, it's real crazy. It's like, I guess it would be like working in medicine when, like, new cures and stuff get discovered.
Yeah,
and
they discover DNA and you're like, what?
Yeah. Like, what? That exists? Crazy.
So yeah, that was super cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a good one.
Let's see, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, this one. It's such a this is what I say. Mental illness is a farce. No disrespect to it. No disrespect to mental illness. No, okay. So what I mean by this is, so just before I go on this rant, I fully respect mental illness and mental health, and I think it's a real thing you have to care and deal for, okay? So I'm not saying that I think that's a farce.
Yeah.
What I think is the farce is, so JT Miller of the Canucks, he has gone off on leave from the team of absence. No one really knows why. There's a ton of speculation.
Yeah.
And what I find funny is in our society is everyone preaches mental illness, let people be and recover and heal. But I feel like a lot of the time they say that. And then as soon as someone does that, they get like, everyone starts digging and prodding.
Yeah.
So it's easy with JT Miller because he's the Vancouver Canucks star. But basically, JT Miller goes out and instantly the rumor mill starts turning, and all of the media, all of the Twitter accounts, not just the Twitter accounts, like the actual media too. It's not just the Warriors at home.
Yeah.
All start like, is it drug addiction? Is it alcohol? Is blah, blah, like everything under the sun, right? And then Alvin, the GM, puts out a message saying like, we wish the best to JT and his family, and we hope that everyone's just okay and he gets back to playing soon. We love you and miss you.
Yeah.
And then Gabe posted at our boys chat. Yeah. And was like, oof, that's a rough statement to make. And then he's like, so is it family matters, drug abuse, blah, blah, all this stuff? And I just find it so funny because it's like, so no one actually cares about that, like respecting this idea. They talk about it. Clearly someone has something personal they don't want, and then everyone starts digging and prodding.
Yeah.
And I feel like that happens to everyone. Like if I all of a sudden were to go, or you were all of a sudden just to disappear from around everyone for a while, and then everyone's like, oh, where's Neve? And like,
I mean, that's kind of also just my life.
No, but I'm saying like let's say you like actually like you were having like a mental break.
Okay.
Like something like something serious, not just like right? And everyone would probably like want to know and prod, even though they're like trying to be respectful, they wouldn't be.
Well, that's because of the world we live in. We live in this world of like, if someone's going through something, they post about it on Facebook. Do you know what I mean? Like, you remember when, I don't know if this was the same for you, but when when I was like a teenager in school, I'd be like, you'd post something and be like, I'm going through something hard, like no one talk to me. And like something like that. And then everyone would like comment on it, be like, oh, what's wrong? And then you'd be like, oh, I'm not going to say it. And then you'd message a few people.
Oh, I never did that.
No, I was also, I still am, and I will openly admit this, like, I love a bit of attention. Like,
you.
Yeah. I am an openly admitting attention whore. which is fine. Like, that's okay. That's part of who I am. But now it's, it's in a box because, like, I don't have social media. I don't do that, like, anymore, right? And as much as I'm an attention whore, I'm also very, like, comfortable in my own company. And like I said, like, I'm that person that will leave you on red for, like, a month just because, like, I just haven't, I don't know, I just haven't text you back, And it's nothing, like, there's no beef from my side, but it's just, I prefer to be, like, disconnected and away, and if there's something going on and you're that close to my life, then you'll know about it. But, like, if you don't, then it's just, like, it's not personal. I just don't view you as someone, like, close enough that I would explain that to. Whereas now it's like, something happens, and especially with stuff like Twitter, it's like you post, oh, I'm doing this or I'm doing that, so when you're not posting, people are like, oh, well, why aren't they? It's like the instant gratification thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that happens on Twitter anymore, though.
But people want access to your life 24/7.
Yeah.
Even if they don't know you. Like, don't tell me you've never, like, creeped an ex or, like, creeped an ex's new partner or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, everyone's done that.
Of course, yeah.
Like, that's just how, like, but we do that because it's accessible. So if you, and especially if you're in the public eye, if you're like a celebrity, your life is so accessible to others. Like, every single thing you do. Paparazzi will take a photo of you outside of Starbucks and you're just getting a coffee. That's not interesting. But do you know how many people will, like, view that photo? So many.
Yeah,
like,
right?
It's just, like, that kind of instant gratification and needing to know what people are doing at all times, which I think is so unnecessary. Yeah. Like, you go back to our parents' day and age, like, I always think about my family, like, my up until I was like 10 months old, my mom was raising me by herself. My dad was based in Scotland. So they could only have like a phone call maybe once a week.
Yeah.
They didn't know what was going on in each other's lives. Like, you
Yeah,
know what I
just...
mean? Like, I just don't think it's necessary to have that, like, need to know about every single thing.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's the world we live in. Again.
I think that's why a lot of people are going crazy now, because there's too much. It's just bombardment of information, and you don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm actually just so much happier now that I don't do any of that social media stuff. And like, the only thing that sucks is I don't see as much Liverpool news. So like, I like I could, granted, I could go look it up more, but it kind of like defeats the purpose of what I'm trying to do. But outside of that, I just literally don't have any miss and sadness of it all at all.
Yeah. The only, even now, the only type of like news that I get is when I'm at work and I open a new web page and it brings me up to like the Microsoft homepage and you see news stories. That's the only news I get, or Apple News that pops up on my phone.
Yeah, I do. This is the one I do on the Apple News. I go like that to the side.
Yeah.
And then if I open it, because like say there's the 5 there,
yeah, if there's something interesting,
but I open that one and I never like actually go into the news. I just do the ones that are there already.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
It's because like, but I'm just like, I'm very much in the mindset of, I don't need to know. Like, if it's not affecting my life right here, right now, like, my life, and that's even including, like, I don't know, Canadian politics. I'll bitch about Canadian politics until the cows come home, because, like, fuck that. But, at the same time, if it's not, like, directly affecting me right here, right now, then what's the point? What's the point in getting like wound up about something?
Well, here's a challenge to anyone that's super distressed about Donald Trump being president. I challenge you for 4 years to just not go on social media or follow the news.
I guarantee your life won't change.
Yeah, and if it does, it does. But you won't be able to do anything about it. But in the meantime, you won't be stressed about it. Yeah. But I have a sense that the world's just always going to keep spinning, no matter who's elected and stuff like that. Period.
Yeah.
Let alone
the world doesn't stop. Just, yeah. You know.
Okay. I'm gonna take this might get a little heat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spicy.
This is a spicy one.
Okay.
So I was listening to this guy, and he was kind of like talking about how it was interesting. So he's all about like, he's like a pro, he's an NYU professor, and he's a pro like male advocate. And so his
pro male, what does that mean?
So he's like advocating for men.
Yeah. And in what sense?
So like okay, just let me get this out.
Sorry.
I could tell this was gonna get heated.
Yeah.
So men in our society, 100%, I feel their worth is based on how much money they make. Like, it's not that you have to have the most money, but it's like, how much can you provide? And as soon as you don't you're not providing, and I'm not referring to you, just so you know.
Yeah,
I'm just saying this is
as
like, as a generalization. As soon as you're not doing that, it's kind of like, well, what's going on here? Like, you're supposed to provide. Like, what's a man's other in today's society, outside of like work and provide and I guess protect? What is a man's role in like society?
I'm like, I don't really get what you mean.
Okay.
Not gonna lie.
So I think that a huge factor in women choosing a mate is, there's a huge factor of it is how secure, like how safe do they feel. And a part of safety today is in just having financial security.
No.
You don't think so?
No, I don't believe that. I believe there is a type of women that might think that. But I think there's also a huge push for, like, quote unquote, like, boss babes, like, women that don't need men to provide. And that's a huge thing now.
Right.
So I don't think you can say, as a society, that a man his ability to find a mate is based on how he can provide alone. I think there are women that think that way, but I would definitely not say it's majority, even in the slightest.
Okay, so for example, this guy had a whole bunch of statistics, and he, even in saying all this stuff, this guy was very pro-woman.
Yeah.
So he was never advocating anything as in women shouldn't have this stuff. He was saying it's really good. Like, for example, it's 2/3 of every women of women under 30 are now university educated, and they're going on to, there's like a whole group of them that are going on to get a third portion of educate, or sorry, yeah, so no, they're university educated, so they've got like post-secondary. Okay, that's men, it's barely a third of them now. And then women are starting to actually get paid equal. And then in America, this is a stat from just America, 50% of the home ownership that's been new is all just women.
Yeah.
All new. So the old stuff is like, he was referring to was like men that already had stuff. He's referring to like the younger ages of everything, right? Yeah. And basically what he was saying is there's this huge thing you can say too. Another stat was 1 in 3 men under 30 are dating. 2/3 of women are dating, but they're dating over 30 that are under 30, because the men are more responsible. They like provide more, blah, 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 all this stuff. And what he was saying is we have this thing where like men really need guidance and like something to do, or else they start going crazy. Hence the fact that like dudes are the way they are, like super aggressive and like unguided. They instantly do like the weirdest shit. Like they play a lot of video games, smoke a lot of weed, masturbate, drink too much, like all just the things that are bad if they don't have like a really like firmed purpose. And then women, as time's going to go on, they're going to start becoming the more educated, and that's all fine. Like there's no negative. It's not like, oh, we should stop that. But the problem is becoming, and this is kind of what comes into what I was saying about men's value in societies based on their worth. Women and more are not wanting men, because the men, really their worth is via like, can they provide for me, can they protect me? But if a woman can do all that for herself, then the worth of a man is less.
I see. I definitely see what you're saying, because like for the past X amount of human existence, that's been how it's been, right? Absolutely. The man has been the provider, and the woman has her role. But I completely agree with you, and I think that if there comes a point where women like can, I don't know, like replicate sperm or something, I think there will not be a need for men.
Yeah, well, that's
and like fully, because what you're saying is about like men do this and do that and they need guidance. It's yes, and that's down to maturity levels. Like women just mature faster. That's how life works.
Yes.
But I feel like a lot of women now as well see themselves with the ability to do all of this stuff. Like women can be the boss. Women can make their own businesses and provide for themselves.
I hate to say this to women, but you guys actually make equal pay, and if not more, and not in a way like, oh, you get unfairly, but women have the ability in Western societies, at least,
to do that,
to generate as much, if not more, income than men. It's not a thing of like your gender instantly.
I definitely think the gender pay gap, as far as I'm aware, is pretty much non-existent.
I agree. Yeah, it is. It is. Go another one. Type in CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, and the list you're gonna. There's this weird. There's this weird thing that it's like, it's all just white men, and there is, of course, a whole bunch of white men. But there's people of color, women, like it's just everything, right? So anyhow, I just thought what he was saying was interesting, because it's an evolutionary thing, is truly what it is. And also, again, caveating this all, I think it's amazing that women have this ability. Like it's deserved, and right? It's not a thing of like, and that's what it was kind of weird, especially when I first started saying it, is this guy is an NYU professor who's all for pro like women's rights and everything. It's just like, what he was saying is we've all heard of toxic masculinity. There is such thing as toxic femininity. And it's the exact same thing as a man that's all like, men are the best and be quiet, woman, you're less because you're a woman. I'm a man. There is the same thing where there is some women that like, they're hyper feminist. And I don't know. I just thought it was just hearing him say that. It was just interesting.
I agree with you. There are toxic feminists that just degrade men, and I don't think that's right, because like we're talking like mental health. Yeah, men's mental health matters too. Like there's no need to go and like degrade people, but I do also think, especially in younger generations, I haven't dated someone the same age as me since I was 15. Do you know what I mean? Like I've always dated older, and they gradually become like, there's been big age gaps. Like you and I have 7-year age gap. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the reason for that is men are, because they don't have the same maturity rate. When you're young, at the point where you're meeting people in your 20s, even in your 30s, you know, there are men. I've dated men that were 10 years older than me that didn't have the right maturity levels for their age. I'm gonna say, do you know what I mean?
Oh,
but,
yeah.
And that's the thing, is like, because and I'm using I as the like general woman, I have reached that level of maturity and I know what I want. I don't want to mother a man that I'm supposed to be dating.
Yeah.
And that's what it feels like for women sometimes. And maybe this will kind of, like you said, it's an evolutionary thing. Maybe this will push guys to kind of mature at a quicker rate. Because nobody, even when I wasn't even 20 yet, I was 19, busting my ass, going to work every day, 9-to-5 job, coming home to an unemployed man 9 years older than me that was playing video games all day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm 19, I don't want to be your mom. Like, I want you to be my partner in life. Like, you need to come up to equal me. Yeah. And maybe that's what you're perceiving as, but I don't think that's like an outlandish thing to say.
But that it makes sense. It does. Like, it's just, I mean, that, especially that's just like, no one want that, period. That's just a dud, right? But yeah, no, but it does make sense in terms of like why women want older men, and then also why older men want younger women, because it's just naturally kind of how it goes. It naturally,
but, like you equal out in age.
But what this guy was saying, what I thought was interesting too, is he was talking about he thinks that boys should start kindergarten a year later. So like the boys, what is it? Yeah, the boys should be with girls younger than them, so that their maturity levels balance out more. And then he said what was so obvious for him was he had his 14-year-old daughter had a party at her place, and it was all of her friends and like guys and girls. And there was all these girls that so clearly were like some of them looked like young women already. And the ones that didn't were dressed like young women, the way they were acting. And then the boys so clearly were like 14-year-old kids. And he's like, you can just so clearly see there's this gap in the maturity level of them
and
all.
I found that as well. Like, again, literally same situation when I had one party at my place when I was a kid, and I must have been 15 or 16, you know, like I would have been 15, like very close to 16. It was around Christmas time, and I remember this because my parents were at the Naval Christmas ball, and I had a party that I was not planning on having and not meant to have, and the girlfriends I were with were like so respectful, like, you know, they're like, oh, you can't put your drink there, there's no coaster, that kind of shit. And we're thinking that at 16, right? It's so stupid. And the guys, the reason I got found out about this party is because the boys were going around to like all my neighbors' houses and like jumping in their trees and breaking their bushes, and then my neighbors told my parents and I got grounded for so long. But it throws it back to that, right? It's maturity levels. Like, you're just being dumb kids, which is fine, but girls are just kind of...
Well, and this is
different.
Another interesting thing he was saying, and he was saying it's a big reason actually why like women are excelling so much in the world we're living in now versus men.
Yeah.
Because women, if you leave them with nothing to do, they're more likely to pursue like a relationship in terms of like going to see a friend or mom or dad, or be like something productive. Whereas dudes, if you leave them nothing to do, they watch TV, video games, sports, like work out, and they like do stuff, but it's all just dumb. It's not like productive.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really interesting in itself there. And then it just kind of breeds into this idea of like, well, why are men so unproductive and sit around and do nothing? It's because I think that like the world we're living in is just wrong. And it's like on a fundamental level, because if people are busy doing stuff, they don't have that. But it clearly is like people en masse aren't really happy with life if consistently everyone's sitting around watching TV all the time and being unproductive. But reflect it through the men only, because women apparently are more able to like do stuff. But there's just a huge swath of dudes that are just sitting around, and you're like, okay, at a certain point, like obviously it's guys. Yeah. That's part of our DNA or something. Yeah. But you got to think that, well, maybe if that's a thing, then we got to figure out a better way for society to run, that we're more productive. I don't know. It's weird.
I mean, yeah, I think like society plays into it in terms of there are just these things that come out that are more focused towards dudes. You know what I mean? Like gaming systems.
Yeah.
You know, it's designed to like hook you when you're young, and then you don't get out of that.
Well, and I've literally played video games my entire life.
Exactly.
From like when I can perceive remembering.
Yeah, exactly. and like you never stopped, and that's fine. But there is a thing as well of women. Again, this is new for women, right? It's like women have something to prove.
Yeah,
dudes
absolutely.
Dudes have been at the top for the past however long humans have been in existence. So they don't feel the like competitive drive anymore.
Yeah.
Whereas women, we're like, oh, we can actually do all of this stuff, and that's really cool. Let's see how far I can get. And that's why the like women, and I exclude myself out of this because I do not have that kind of like I don't have that that drive to be like the boss bitch. I like, that's not me. I'm very happy
not being the boss
bitch. But it's awesome. It's awesome that women can do that, and there is this like competitive drive within women that they want to see how high they can get, just to see, you know what I mean? Because who's done it before? You know, you're getting women CEOs of places there have never been women CEOs before. You're getting women on that Fortune 500 list, and other women are seeing that and we're like, oh, if that woman's done it, maybe I could do that too. So we all have this like competitive drive to better ourselves and like see how far we can go. Guys don't have that because you've just kind of like always been on top. So now it's like, well, what now?
Someone was telling me this, I can't remember who, but I thought it was pretty cool. They were like, for like all of human history, you've needed men to be in charge because of like the dangers of life.
Yeah.
But now the way the world runs, we don't need to have like, you don't need this like brutish strength that has been a man. And maybe it's time to give the reins over to women.
Yeah.
And I don't fully believe that. Like, I think that's a cool thought. Like 100% I like that. But I don't think I don't believe in the idea of giving the reins over. Like, I have no problem with women coming into power more and influencing things more. But I think it's just like that's just like we're all in it, right? It's all of us. It can't be just like, oh, it's women's turn now and men don't, or it's like, no, we just gotta be together.
For me, that's the whole thing, right? How feminism started was the process of advocating for equality, right? And I don't think that it's now time to put women on a pedestal, because that completely defeats the object of equality.
Yes.
But I think that also, like, maybe we've got to this level of equality in terms of work, and now maybe dudes need to step it up a bit, you know? Maybe dudes need to, like, get their shit together and, like evolutionary, this is not like a targeted thing being fuck you dudes, but like evolutionary wise, like, we've proved that women can now do this, so maybe like guys need to kind of meet us, and it's more of a like life partnership rather than an expectation of a man's and a woman's role. It's just like, hey, we're partners, like we
I don't know, honestly, equal. The whole I genuinely have a strong feeling that like I get the battle of the sexes is always a thing, as we watch Survivor and Big Brother, and there always ends up being like, should the dudes get together, the chicks get together, blah blah blah. Yeah. So I do get that, but like I honestly don't really like believe it. Like, I feel like it's like the idea of the like not being a partnership, I just don't really know where that comes from. Like I know you can do it, and I know it's happened throughout history a lot, but like to truly be functioning and working, it has to be a partnership.
Yeah, and I don't believe that what happened previously wasn't a partnership. It's just a partnership looked different. Like, you go back to the 1950s and the guy goes and works his business job 9 to 5, and the woman stays home, cooks, cleans, and looks after the kids, right? That's still a partnership. It just was a different type of partnership, and it was fitting to the time. Well, okay, but times have changed.
Sorry, that's more what I was meaning, is like I don't know what world you're living in where like you're here now and today's you have a partner and you're like, okay, I'll do all the man stuff and you do all the women stuff, which would really in essence mean you stay home and I work. I'm like, who's that person? 'Cause I don't know anyone that has the all work and you stay at home. And quite frankly, I wish that I could just have you stay at home.
Oh, I wish I could just stay at home and do that.
And if obviously it's not a thing of like you're a woman. It's just like, man, if there's a world where I could make enough money for both of us to live, I'd love that.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
100%.
Same,
and I would love that also. But I think the point is, now the world that we live in, I have to have a job.
Yeah.
So that means you have to do some of the responsibilities of the home taker. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it can't just be me cooking and cleaning and you going to work, because I'm also working, so you need to now take over some of the household duties too. And that's where I think it lacks sometimes. Do you know what I mean? Because women and men, they're both working, they're both busting their ass all day.
Well,
and I feel like the women still take on a lot of the time the womanly roles. And again, this is specific to anyone. This isn't like a you or me thing or whatever. This is just a like general of what I feel like, and I feel that's why women feel like they are mothering dudes rather than being in a partnership with them.
Well, see, but here's like I get what you're saying, but here's just the problem within that is like I kind of feel like the how do I say this? I kind of feel like the way the world's going, men are becoming obsolete in the eyes of women.
Yes.
Which isn't good.
I know, and I completely agree with you. I don't think it's good at all.
And so the one thing I feel though is like I don't think women should be hampered in progress. But it's kind of a weird thing because I'm like, so what happens? Because like you're saying like men should step it up, but I don't know. It's just maybe I just don't believe men could step it up in that level because the thing is, women hold so much power within the ability to give birth and specifically sex. Yeah. Like they hold so much power within that it changes a lot of the dynamic because I feel, yeah, I don't know.
But
It's just a weird time.
I feel like evolutionary, like going back to like basic like biologics, men will have to step it up. Do you know what I mean? Like there will become a evolutionary moment where, again, and this is, I believe, we evolve based on, like, not based on social, based on the biologic fundamentals of what's going on in the world.
Right.
So at some point there will be some kind of biological indicator that, hey, like, women are just doing all of this shit and men kind of are being left in the dust, and men will have to buck up. There'll be something like, now all of a sudden the percentage of like boys, like kids, are focusing on other stuff that's more productive to the future rather than sitting playing video games, you know? Like, it'll be an evolutionary thing.
Well,
in my head, like, it'll be something in your brain
it would have to be.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that'll happen, though. That's the only problem, because, like...
What, before it's too late?
Well, because, like, okay, so, like, you're saying, like, basically like, I get what you're saying, right? So you're saying, like, there's an evolutionary switch that'll have to go off, and you'll be like, I'm not going to be so addicted to video games because I have to, like, produce more for my offspring, or, like, to get a partner or mate or whatever, right? Is that kind of what you're getting at?
No, for me, it's more like it's a biological event that will happen. For example, there will be X amount, like, something will happen, like mass infertility in women, or something where the biologics are altered and men now hold the key to the human race. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm not explaining this very well.
No, I don't get that. I thought I was following
like,
something.
Seahorses.
Yeah.
Seahorses, the dudes, the chick seahorse gets pregnant, and then the dude carries the baby.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So I feel like something biological will happen where there will be, like, a necessity placed on men.
Mm-hmm. See, I get I get what you're saying there, but I don't know. I don't really know, because I just heard about, like, this guy was just talking about this today, so I'm just kind of, like, digesting it. But I just think it's, like, we're kind of, like, screwed, to be honest, in that sense, because I do view it, like, I get why I don't know, I get why women are on the upward trajectory, and I get why men are on the downward trajectory, and I just don't think that, I just think it's a bad situation. Like, I don't think it's a situation that'll right itself. Another thing this guy was talking about was dating apps, and how it's really nuked male self-esteem, because he said, this is statistics, if you have 50 guys and 50 girls on a dating app, 44 or 43, I think it was 44 of those 50 girls will swipe right on 4 guys. Yeah, I see that. And then what ends up happening, the guys that don't get anything get so frustrated, they probably are more into porn. They probably don't like women as much. They become more misogynistic, like all these things like that. And then on the flip side, you have this weird thing where these 4 dudes, they have this weird, like, no, I'm just, like, gonna sleep with everyone because every girl keeps coming to them. Yep. But then women on the other side of it are all just attracted to these 4 dudes. So it's this weird thing on, like, both sides. It's like the women shouldn't be going after this dude because, like, they're only after one. It's not the most viable mate. There's like 44 of them after, but it's like their biological switch wants them. Yeah. And then it makes this weird dynamic where now there's these guys that get all the women, but they have no commitment. And then there's all these women that keep sleeping with this one guy and then coming out being like, goddamn men. And then you have the men that get no women, goddamn women. So it's like all these dynamics that are just so bad. And you're just like, Oh my goodness! Like this is so like thank God you and me have each other. Cheers to that.
Cheers to
We don't
that,
have to worry
babe.
about this stuff. But like it's I don't know. It's just so crazy. And then like here I'm gonna look up this guy's name. He's because it was a
It sounds really interesting.
it's really interesting, and I can't talk to the statistics nearly as well as he can. But when he starts talking about the statistics, his name is Scott Galloway, and he's a marketing professor at NYU. And anyhow, it's just a weird world we're going into, and I actually it's just weird.
No, I completely agree with you, and I believe that men are more and more becoming kind of like redundant.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's a positive thing at all.
I don't think men are becoming. I think the world we're living in is kind of made a redundancy on men. Like for example, if a true like major war breaks out, I know of course there will literally be women fighting in the war, but it primarily is going to be men, right? Like that's just kind of how it is.
Yeah.
But the world we're living, like the more peaceful the world is and less violent, I do feel like I'm like men's place kind of pitters out more and more.
Dissipates.
Yeah. I also have a feeling this is like hyper conspiracy, but I genuinely feel that like the people that control the world, being like I don't know, just let's say like the governments and the tech companies and the like just the people that see the future because they're producing the future via like what they're making. Yeah. I think a lot of the reason the LGBTQ trans stuff is being pushed so hard is because I think they see a future where things like gender matter so much more because nothing else really matters. Like everything will be so done for you, and like maybe even things like, for example, what we were just talking about, like there is a very possible point where it comes to like women just don't really see the need for men because they're like, I can do all this stuff myself. I can in vitro like inseminate myself and all that. Yeah. And if that starts happening where it becomes more of like more and more you can just be your individual, not have to do that, then all of a sudden your gender becomes that much more important because there's no like it doesn't matter anymore. I don't know, and I can see just in the future that I do strongly believe that. I think that in the future that the reason they're pushing this stuff now is because in the future we will not have like everything's going to be so crazily different. Yeah. Just so crazily different.
I kind of half agree with you there. I do believe that like your gender identity is going to be of far more importance in the future. I don't necessarily believe that that's why like governments like that's government pushing it out now. I believe that that's becoming such a big thing now is because we're bored. We've got nothing else going on.
Sorry, just to interrupt you. I would say they're not pushing it out. They're trying to normalize it.
Oh, yeah.
So you talk about it to normalize it for the future.
Right.
That's what I mean.
Okay. Yeah. Then yeah.
So like right now, everyone's like, what the fuck? And then 10 years from now, they're like, oh yeah. And then 20 years from now, they're like, oh. And then 35, 40 years from now, it's just there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, because it's, I don't know, it's just... I listen to Klaus Schwab, the head of the World Economic Forum.
Yes.
I'm not going to go into a whole World Economic Forum tangent and all that because I do believe in all that stuff. But his books from 2016 speak of things that I promise you that if you heard of it today, you'd be like, what? Like nanotechnology in the bloodstream to cure cancer was something they were studying and had like research papers on in 2016. That's crazy. And so I feel like we just don't really realize it, but like in the near future, our world's just going to get rocked. And I don't mean rocked negative. It's just going to change. Yeah. Like radically.
Yeah, I believe that too.
Yeah.
Can we take a break?
Yep.
I got pee.
Let's just take a break for a second here to hear a word from our sponsors.
Are you sick of women wanting to know you before sleeping with you? Doesn't it get tiring having to put effort and time into getting laid? Are women saying things like, go away pervert, or no chance loser, when you proposition them? Well, we have the product for you. Fleshlight. It's all the pleasure, none of the effort. Say goodbye to chatting up women. goodbye to fun times and memories and say hello to Fleshlight. And goodbye to nasty women. Ew, gross.
Dream easy pillows for when your 90-year-old sugar daddy is sleeping peacefully. Smother him with his Dream Easy pillow. 99 success rate on getting you that bag. And we're back. Oh, hello, everybody. Oh, that was a crazy break. Hope you enjoyed those commercials from our unofficial sponsors of the pod.
Fleshlight and Dream Easy
Dream
pillows.
Easy pillows. What a good combo. When you're done fleshing one out, fall asleep on your Dream Easy pillow.
Fleshing one out. I like that.
Okay. Do you have anything you would really want to talk about, by the way, on here? No? Yeah?
I didn't write anything down for this week. No, I've just been super busy. With life.
Okay.
So I didn't really think of anything.
Okay, I have a question for you. I don't think I've asked this on air.
Mm-hmm.
Would you drink, say we took like 15 pennies and I put them in a glass of Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
And then we pulled the pennies out and they were clean. Would you drink the Coca-Cola
Absolutely
after?
not.
Why?
Because money is the dirtiest thing in the world.
Yeah, but Coca-Cola stripped that money clean.
Yeah. So the money's clean, but the Coca-Cola is not. It doesn't just disappear.
Yeah, but surely just drinking Coca-Cola can't be much worse than once you've put the pennies in it, because of just the fact that Coca-Cola can strip pennies of everything on them.
No, I'd still not drink it.
No.
Would you drink it?
I wouldn't drink it because I would gag, but I don't think there's much difference between the two. Because when you yes, there would be sediment, there'd be gross, nasty sediment.
Yeah.
But there's no way that you drinking Coca-Cola with that sediment in it is worse than just drinking Coca-Cola, because clearly it just destroys everything it touches.
Yeah.
So what's the difference in if there's been some pennies in your Coke if you're drinking Coke?
But I wouldn't put a penny in my mouth. So why would I put the grime that's come off of a penny?
The point of this is more to think about how disgusting Coke is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't drink full Coke anyway. I drink Coke Zero. It's not the same thing.
Actually, we're gonna test this out. We're gonna find some. The hard part of this is gonna be finding pennies, and we're gonna see if Coke Zero strips pennies.
Actually, this morning I was in our ensuite bathroom doing my makeup, and Juliet was just hanging out with me, and I turn around and she looks like she's got something in her mouth. She does this face. She does a face when she's got something in her mouth, and you can tell when she does it. I was like, "What have you got in your mouth?" And I opened her mouth and she had 25 cents in her mouth. Oh. And I was like, where the hell did you get that?
Hiding her money for later. Sneaky Julie.
Maybe our baby just regurgitates money.
Wow.
That would be so sick.
Turn her upside down, spank her bum, money comes out.
She's like the golden goose of babies. Give me a hundy.
Okay, well, I feel like we should kind of move on to some of the stuff that we have here, like the person of the week.
Fuck.
Neve's person of the week was her parents. Oh, did your mom comment on that? You said she was listening to
No, she's an episode behind.
Okay, so she should.
She hasn't heard it yet.
So you said your mom or your parents, and I said Dax.
Yeah.
We love you all.
I love you both and all.
Okay. Do you want to go first or Shantai?
I'm always going to say you go first.
Okay, then you go first.
Okay, my person of the week.
And remember, you have to send this to them and tell them to watch it, which you never did.
I'm not going to do that. My person of the week would be... actually, I have a person of the week. My person of the week is Jamie Bartlett.
Okay.
From England.
Ingerland.
I had to catch up with her this week, which we don't get to do very often because time differences and all of that shizzle.
Yeah.
But I had to catch up with her, and she's one of these people I've known forever. known each other since we were, 13 years old or something. And I had an on and off friendship.
An on and off friendship.
Yeah, an on and off friendship. There are some times. But she's just, I just love her so much. She's one of those people that no matter how much time has passed since we've talked, is just like a sister, like picking up the phone with your sister and being like, hey, here's the dealio. And she's gone through a really hard time recently. She lost her grandma.
Rest in peace,
and
Mrs.
yeah,
Bartlett.
and they were really, really close. So I'm sending a lot of love to her, and I feel a lot of love right now.
Right on. Well, all the love, Jamie. I do love you too.
Yeah, and I
She's
can't wait
awesome.
to see you in like a month.
And my daughter needs a haircut.
Yes, and we're saving Julia's hair for you because it's real fucking long right now.
That's why you're flying to Canada to give
just
to work.
for the haircut.
Just to work. Right on. Nice. Well, I'll go off the board here. I'm gonna go with not really off the board. My personal week is Gabriel Ip.
Sat off the board.
I know. That's what I was saying. As soon as it's
Literally
not
one of
off the
your
board
best
at all.
friends.
Yeah. Gabe's one of my best friends. I mean, Gabe's just a stand-up dude. He's always been there for me, just to be like a good supportive friend, which is obviously great. But then he's like my number one homie for Soccer Saturdays. And me and Gabe's probably out of all my friends, believe it or not, my most like EPL soccer friend. Like in terms of like the person I watch and talk to the most soccer about. And obviously, that means so much to me. So shout out to Gabe for that. And I mean, Gabe's just an overall genuinely just a nice person.
He is. He's the best.
I think I honestly think that people's feeling towards Gabe, or they like him or there's neutral. I'd just be shocked to find people that don't like him.
Yeah, I don't think that's possible.
Yeah. And I think that's a tribute to just how kind and sweet Gabe is to everyone.
Yes.
And just, yeah, so, and you're also the godfather to my daughter, so
Yeah.
I guess it wasn't off the board at all,
guess
was
it
it
was
really?
something.
Anyhow, Gabe, you're awesome. We love you. I'll probably be seeing you or talking to you sooner than later.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Gabe, you're my personal of the week. Yeah, Gabe.
Yep.
Okay, moving
I
on.
hate person of the week so much.
I know you do, and that's why we do it. To break down walls. You would be surprised the amount of people that have been like, you changed my life by making me person of the week.
None people?
Jack, he said it was made him smile and it made his day.
When was Jack person of the week?
Yeah, you wouldn't.
Why would anyone put Jack as person? Yeah, I'm just
Jack
kidding.
was
Jack
person of
loved
the
your
week
day.
the week before he came on this pod. And then
Oh, that's convenient
then I just
timing.
and then like there's like I don't know believe it or not, the comment section on
Yeah, to be
Spotify
fair,
is nuts.
Rachel actually called me up about it because I didn't tell her, and then like 2 weeks later she found out through
You didn't
Joey.
tell her?
Through Joey.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
I don't tell anyone.
I know, and that's the problem. The whole personal week was started so you would tell
And
people.
she said it was really cute, but that makes me feel icky. So
Well, it's good because the whole point of personal of the week is because we should shout out people we love because no one shouts anyone out anymore.
I know why we did it.
Okay,
Just
so
makes me
buy of the
feel
week for me
gross.
was Juliet reading after I did, and yours was your infusion.
Yes.
Yeah. My buy of this week is going to be my 2 assists in the soccer game because they were actually really nice.
Okay. My buy of this week is gonna be I know it's lame, but I'm actually having a really fun time at work, and
Okay. Neve having fun at work.
I know. Bear in mind, I was on mat leave for a year. I didn't work for a year, right? And I really love my job. And at the moment, it's a really stressful time. Like, we're having a really stressful week. But I thrive in a stressful environment, and I'm just having the best time doing
Good.
what I'm doing.
Glad to hear that.
So it's kind of a weird one, but
That's a good one.
I'm
I genuinely think that to be happy in life, you not only have to have a job you enjoy. It doesn't mean you have to be like madly in love, but you have to be
Yeah.
able to like go show up and be like, hey, I like enjoy it.
Yeah.
And you also need stress on you. It doesn't have to be like like, oh my God, I'm about to fall off a cliff stressful. You just need like stress on you to keep you kind of
honestly,
like going.
I like thrive in under pressure situations, and because I've got so much pressure on me at work at the moment, like it's a lot, but I also love it.
Love it. Good.
Like,
That makes me happy
also
to hear.
the feeling of like when you're in a stressful situation, when you're like done with that task, oh, that feeling.
Delayed gratification. And
Yes, yeah, I live for that.
Okay, you had a pre-infusion blackout as your cell of the week.
Yeah.
That's pretty fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty fair.
Yeah, and then I had sleeping on a bad neck, which is not nearly as bad as what happened to you.
Okay, what's your cell of the week?
My cell of the week. Oh, actually, you know what?
My sell of the week happened on Saturday night when we were heading to soccer and we got in a rear ender. Fender bender. So I'm gonna go on a little story tell about this. So we're sitting in the low road like Maine trying to get on like by the Wendy's there.
You're just sat in like standstill
We're in
traffic as well.
standstill traffic. And this chick tries to pull out from behind us, and she was going into the bus bike lane. She was
Yes.
so
It was a bus lane.
It wasn't a
drivable
driving lane, and so she just rear ends us. And just to give you an idea of how minor it was, Juliet didn't wake up from it. That's
Yeah,
how
she was
like it was.
passed
She was
out, yeah.
just we were sitting still, and she just tried to pull out from behind us and bumped us.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh, what the hell? And then I look, and you can see it's this girl. I think she was a 95.
Yeah,
pretty
she would have been around like 29, 30.
Yeah, so she's not that young. And she's like already, I could just see, like
Yeah.
before we even got out of the car, I
Yeah,
could
she
just
was-
tell she was just like deer in the headlights,
Yeah.
so upset. And as soon as she gets out, she's like crying and she's like, I'm sorry. Me and my boyfriend just got in a fight. And so
Yeah.
me and Neve are like being so nice. We're like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry about it. It's fine. And then like as she's talking about it more, it wasn't her and her boyfriend just got in a fight. Her and her boyfriend got in a fight in the car, and he got out of the car and ran away.
Yeah.
Like, and so
Yeah.
that's why she was like pulling out to
Yeah.
chase him. So my sell of the week isn't the car accident.
Yeah.
My sell of the week is
the boyfriend.
No. We got in a car accident and we had to get out and console the girl, and I like gave her a hug. I was
Oh,
like,
thanks,
it's okay.
yeah.
So somehow we got hit. And in the end, had to be like, no, it's okay. Like, I know we'll be fine and get the
Yeah.
insurance part of it, but just the fact
Honestly,
that that's what happened.
At that point, it was so funny because Derek knows I have a little bit of road rage. So when the hit happened, I was like angry, and Juliet was in the car, so I was gonna get out and be like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I have a baby on board sticker, like there's a kid in this car, and then I see the girl and she's just so obviously distraught, and I'm like, I can't go off at this girl.
And she
Like,
she hit us for sure.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like
It wasn't,
it did damage to the cars, but I'm not gonna lie though, I actually have noticed my back, like my low back has been tight since she hit us. Like, I'm not even joking. when
Mine
saying
has
that.
too.
Yeah,
Mine
so
has too.
I'm glad we got the ICBC claim. Like it definitely, I'm not gonna sit there and lie and be like, yo, I'm like in so much pain, but I
Yeah.
definitely have noticed since that accident, my back is seized up.
Yeah. I mean, my back's always bad as well, but especially since then.
Yeah, so my sell of the week is consoling people that hit our car.
That's so fair. My sell of the week would probably be it's hard. I've had a pretty good week. Let me think about it. I'm sure there's something that's pissed me off at some point. I literally can't think of anything.
Did you have?
What happened? Okay, let's go through our week.
know, did you stub your toe?
Friday.
Like the sell of the week
Saturday.
doesn't even have to have happened to you. It could just be something like, I don't know, the stock market crashed. sell on.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I mean, oh, here's my sell of the week, okay? So today, I took Juliet in to go and see her dad at work.
That's me.
That's Derek.
Yeah.
And She was so stoked to see him, and then the moment she left, like went into like rage scream.
Damn
She
straight.
did the whole red face wouldn't breathe. You know what I'm talking about?
Like 30 seconds between waves.
And you know what's so funny? By the time we got to the elevator, she was fine. It was just that initial of being taken away from her dad. But that's that's gonna be my sell of the week is Juliet screaming in Derek's work because Derek had to work.
Yeah, I mean, damn, I'm sorry. That's just poor father.
It was so cute when she first saw you though. Like she just kind of like screamed
she was
and
so
ran
pumped.
up.
She
Yeah.
was so freaking pumped. All right, well, unless there's anything you want to say, I'm pretty good for
Yeah, groovy, baby.
good for PanCake Friday. You know what? Actually, one last thing I want to say.
Eat your vegetables.
Shout out to Joach. You're a stud. Thank you, Joach. We love you.
Yeah, I love you.
Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.